Okay, I'm back. I'm Dan Eby, and we're back with Gunnar Energy Services, throwing back the curtain, pulling back the curtain, whichever it is, but removing the curtain somehow. So anyway, last time we talked about the assessment phase, and we went really, really fast and did a really quick and dirty job. We're going to try and slow it down. We're going to do the access phase now. We're going to talk about how sometimes the assessment kind of bleeds into the access phase. And why is that? Well, a lot of times it's because we can't actually go up there and get very close to the well where we can actually see very good, see what the exit point is or something like that. So we're going to slow down just a little bit. Well, why do we want access? Well, in order to make the blowout stop, we got to be able to touch the well. There's a really, really high percentage of success, say over 98%. If we can touch the well, we can actually make the blowout stop somehow by direct access on the well and not have to use a relief well. Now there's an exception to that. One time Clinton beat me to it, but that's not fair. We had parted pipe and we had a snubbing unit and we were rigged up to divert, and he only ran 8 ranging runs or 9 ranging runs or whatever it is instead of the normal 20.
Inconceivable.
So he beat us to it, but that's okay. The whole object is to make it stop as soon as possible. A lot of times we have to use fire water or rig up firefighting pumps or whatever it is, what do you want to call it, either for firefighting to get the heat where we can get up close to the well, or if it's just not, the well's not on fire, it's just for some sort of, fire suppression to make it safe to work around the well so it doesn't catch on fire while the well control guys are up doing that stuff. And we do that so we can remove equipment, or and do some digging or whatever that stuff is that we have to do. In this video, we're going to talk mostly about the firefighting and the fire suppression part. So what are the water requirements whenever we're having to rig up firefighting? Well, there's water requirements on land. Usually we use frac tanks. Sometimes that's 10 to 20 frac tanks is usually what the deal is. And we need some sort of resupply system. Well, that's pretty easy to do now because on land, the industry is quite mature on pumping water around because there's millions and millions of gallons that get pumped on frac jobs. So the water supply system usually is not that big of a deal as it used to be. Once upon a time we had to do it with back trucks or water wells, and it was quite a bit slower. But now it's a lot easier. Offshore, water's easy. We just throw a hose over the side, but that's a little more sophisticated than that actually. What goes with some of these systems is a header system on offshore. It's a little header we can put monitors on, or land. Sometimes it's a header from the fire where the firefighting pumps and the water storage is staged all the way up to the well, and then we can run fire monitors off of that. But all of this requires some sort of a footprint, especially on land. One other thing that happens a lot is on a big job is fabrication. Need a bunch of welders out there to do some sort of fabrication of maybe a venturi tube, or especially for if it's a fire, we need heat shields and that type of thing. So that's a big deal. Another thing we're doing while that's all happening is we're rigging up stuff that we need to actually go on to the next phase, which is work on the wellhead itself. So that may be the Eby wagon, that could be a cutter, abrasive jet cutter, or a diamond wire cutter, or things like that. Fire suppression or heat management, we got to think about the runoff. That's easy when it's offshore or in a swamp because it just goes wherever it goes, and nobody seems to be that concerned about the water going out of the bayou and back into the bayou, so that's not really a big deal. But on land, sometimes it can be a big deal if you have to collect the water and store it or clean it up or dispose of it and that type of thing. Okay, there's the firefighting part of access. Next time we're going to talk about either getting equipment up there and doing some digging and that type of thing, and that's going to be done after we get the firefighting water rigged up for fire suppression or firefighting, whatever it is. So do your likes on us on LinkedIn, and thanks for joining us. Gunnar Energy Services, pulling back the curtain.